Hi, I'm Chelsea from Tech Diva Media, and in this video we're going to look at a before and after homepage design. So this is a website homepage that we've redesigned to optimize it for conversions, to be able to make it perform better. So when people land on the site, they're guided more towards one call to action and powerfully driven to actually take action and engage on the website. And the reason we did the before and after is because we've split tested this design with the audience that we're targeting. And the specific audience we're targeting, we've learned from. So we've gotten feedback from them. And that's really a key thing when you're designing your site is rather than kind of pooling all your resources and spending months on designing a site and building something massive, you really want to take time to do smaller iterations and iterate, get some feedback, and then iterate again, and then get some feedback, and keep improving over time. So it's sort of like you want to plan your web design in phases. So you have your first phase, you get feedback on it, and then you go back to the drawing board and you incorporate what you learned and have the second phase. And so you keep rolling it out and making incremental changes over time. You'll sometimes see a lot of the bigger sites, like an Amazon.com for instance, where you might notice little tiny subtle changes. A lot of times they'll do a lot of split testing and they'll test different little tiny changes over time to figure out which ones perform the best, and then they incorporate that into the site as a whole. So in this case, we're looking at the homepage of yourcollegeconcierge.com. And so this was the original homepage. So you notice we have a tagline, we want to help you help your child succeed. And then it says what they do. So we're trying to answer the question of who it's for and what it is that they're offering, and then what to do next. Those are always the three key questions you want to answer on your homepage. Who's it for? What can who's this website speaking to? What can they buy, do, or get here? And then what's that next step? So we did that on this original homepage. We want to help you help your child succeed. Who's it for? Probably a parent. And then what are they offering? Then the next line is, we'll hold you by the hand, simplify, and guide you through the entire stressful college application and financial aid process. So that's what they're offering. What to do next? Now you have to kind of scroll down for that. Now we had a little description here, and then we have some credibility to showcase kind of where they've been recognized so that people understand that these guys are credible. They have their proof that they actually do great work by showcasing like the financial aid awards they were able to earn for their college kids or their high school students, which is what a parent might want if they're visiting the site. And then we have this free guide, the call to action to sign up for this free guide so that you can learn more and get some instant gratification and kind of really start to understand these guys and what they're offering. And then down below we have testimonials, again for more credibility and social proof, and then another call to action to check out their charter club. Now notice there's a lot of different things to do here, right? Not only do we have the navigation, but there's these three different things that someone could click on. And then there's this other call to action. So there's like four main calls to action, plus the navigation, plus this thing at the top, this little like tag bar thing, this little banner thing. So there's a lot of different things going on where initially it seems great, right? Because you're showcasing all this stuff, you're showing your credibility, you're offering a lot of stuff for someone that lands here. But the unfortunate thing is that it's that paradoxical, once you give people too many options, they don't choose. So if you've ever read The Paradox of Choice, there's the concept that if you give too many things, then someone becomes kind of shell-shocked and they don't make any decision, they just click off. So when we redesigned the site, we kept that in mind and we really wanted to focus on one key action. And that one key action is to get someone to opt in with their email so they can then send them further information and really start to build a relationship. And that would be called a lead generation sequence, or a lead generation funnel, is getting someone to opt in so you can build a relationship with them. So in our redesigned version of the homepage, here we have an updated headline. Learn how to save $5,000 to $50,000 per year on college. Now that's a much more dynamic headline compared to the original, the older headline, which was, we want to help you help your child succeed, which is kind of an ambiguous thing. Like, what does that really mean? Like, that means something different to everyone, right? So in the newer headline, it's way more specific. Learn how to save $5,000 to $54,000 per year on college. That's a very specific outcome, and that's really more dialed into what this parent wants. And then we have the call to action. Get started. So this is what to do next. So who's it for? Again, it's for a parent. What do you get here? You're learning how to save $5,000 to $54,000 per year. And then the call to action, what do I do next? You get the PDF. Now all of that happens without scrolling, so it's in the top fold of the page. So get started with our free PDF explaining the 3 changes in college now and what they mean for your child. So it's a very clear call to action. What do I do next? Oh, get started here with our PDF. And then there's the button for the PDF, and then the credibility logos underneath. So without scrolling, I've pretty much gotten the whole concept that was originally communicated on the old homepage, right? So before we kind of had all of this to scroll through to communicate the exact same message. So we've shortened that now, so you don't even have to scroll to get most of that. Now if you do scroll, then we answer what you'll learn from this website. So why would you even want to be here? Now we're starting to answer that question as our secondary concern. And then there's some 3 key things. 5 things you should be doing right now, examples of awards, which you saw on the other page, and then how the business of college works. And again, the business of college, this goes to that guide, the free PDF guide from above. So again, more emphasis on that call to action. And then we have a little bit of a, kind of like a sales letter kind of starts here, just to kind of get into the mind of the parent that would be on this website and really getting into their experience. And then as you scroll on down, we have the credibility, the testimonials, the social proof again. And again, that call to action repeated. So there's really one main call to action, download the PDF. And if you don't scroll anywhere down that page, you get that clear call to action. It's one call to action plus the navigation. There's no tagline at the top, so it's a lot more focused and it's a lot more driven. Now the only way we could have gotten to this, well, now in hindsight, it's like, oh, of course, like that seems, obviously it would work better. But the only way we were able to get there was by testing and iterating the first homepage. And actually, the homepage we've looked at here, this was around about the 3rd version of that homepage. It's updated over and over the months. We got to this iteration, and of course this new one will probably last for a few months, and then we're going to iterate again once we get that feedback from the audience and really understand what works with our audience. So it's very important to kind of have a framework and a beginning idea, but know that that's going to be flexible. It needs to be flexible in order to optimize it for conversions on your site. So it's very important to roll out a new design and then test it. And the way you could test it very easily without investing a lot of time and having to wait months and months would be to maybe run an ad campaign and drive some Google ads or Facebook ads. Throw 50, 100, 500 bucks at an ad campaign, run a campaign for a week or 2 and see what kind of traffic you get and notice the conversions. And that's very helpful to do if you have 2 versions of the same page, and then you run traffic to each one of them and see which one converts better. And within a week, if you throw a couple $100 at an ad campaign, within a week, within a few days, you'll know very quickly which one converts better. You can turn off the one that's not and then keep rolling with the one that won, and then keep testing different variables. And over time, over about a month of that kind of testing, you'll end up with a highly optimized site that you know converts. But there's something that can be a little bit different between getting traffic from ads versus getting traffic from the people you already know are your targeted audience. So if you have a mailing list already, or a list of contacts that's, maybe say you have 5,000 people on your mailing list, or maybe you have 50,000 people on your mailing list, that's going to be a slightly different audience that's probably warmed up to you in a way that someone coming from an ad would not be. So you might have 2 different versions depending on where that traffic or who your audience is and how familiar or how sophisticated they are with what it is you're offering. So these are a few ideas for updating either a homepage or any page on your site. And I wanted to show you kind of the before and after so you can really start to see what it means to test and iterate in small doses. And it really comes down to not just having a good design, but you can see how these 2 pages look very similar, but they actually are quite different in the messaging and the order of information and the clear call to action. So same design really, right? But the content in there and the way that content is organized and presented is key to being able to optimize for conversions. So I hope this video helped. If it did, like it. I would really appreciate it if you would. You can also find me on my website at techdivamedia.com. You can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/techdivamedia. And drop me a note. Say hi. I'd love to hear from you. And thank you for watching.